They say, after your heart stops, your brain stays active for 7 minutes. But the church teaches something far deeper happens. The soul wakes up. 7 minutes that decide eternity. In those moments, you won't see doctors or hospital walls. You'll see truth itself. Heaven, angels, your life, your sins, all at once. And what you see in those 7 minutes will shape your eternity. Greater than this is not fiction. It's the mystery the saints described. What happens the moment the soul leaves the body? Part 1. The first breath of eternity. When the final heartbeat fades, time releases its hold. The body becomes still, but something in you keeps seeing. Doctors might declare death by heartbeat, but heaven declares life by the soul. The church fathers often called death the great separation, where the veil between seen and unseen finally tears. St. John Chrysostom wrote, "Death is but the translation from one form of life to another, not annihilation, but unveiling." The soul rises, at first slowly, in confusion. It can see its own body below, lying still. It tries to speak, but no words come. Instead, thought itself becomes sound. Many near-death experiences describe this moment. Greater than I was above my body, looking down. I could hear the doctors talking, but I felt no pain. Catholic theology doesn't reject such accounts. It refines them. The soul, once freed, becomes aware of both material and spiritual realities. It is no longer limited by the senses. At this moment, prayers begin to matter profoundly. Every whispered, "Jesus, mercy," every Ave Maria from loved ones below reaches the soul like light in darkness. Greater than and then, the air begins to shimmer. A presence steps forward, one you have known since birth. Part 2. The awakening of the soul. The soul's vision is unlike anything earthly. It doesn't see as we see. It perceives all at once, every truth, every consequence, every forgotten moment. St. Catherine of Siena wrote, "The soul, separated from the body, comprehends all at once what it never understood in life. It feels weightless, yet utterly aware. Space and distance vanish. You think of your childhood home, and instantly you're there in memory, not just remembering, but feeling it fully. This is the moment of divine consciousness. Your true self, stripped of masks, roles, ego, stands revealed. Imagine all the noise of the world, suddenly silenced, leaving only truth. That is the soul's first realization. No lies, no pretending, only light and reality. But soon, this clarity becomes more than awareness. It becomes revelation. The soul begins to understand everything it ever was. Part 3. The guardian angel appears. From the light steps forward a being so familiar it feels like home. Your guardian angel. This is not myth. Jesus himself said, "Their angels always see the face of my Father in heaven." Matthew 18:10. The angel who walked with you since the moment of your birth is now visible, radiant, filled with love and gentle authority. Some mystics describe their angels as beings of light, others as warriors of gold and white fire. To each soul, the angel appears in a way that brings peace. He says nothing at first, yet you understand everything. Communication here is direct, thought to thought, heart to heart. He reminds you of your prayers, your sacrifices, the times you chose good over evil. And sometimes, he shows you the moments you were saved without knowing it, the near accidents, the sudden hesitations that spared your life. Saint Padre Pio once said, "If we knew the love of our guardian angels, we would never feel alone." But before the angel can lead you higher, heaven must first reveal your truth, the light of conscience. Part 4. The illumination of conscience. This is the soul's encounter with the illumination of conscience, a phenomenon seen by mystics across centuries. It's not judgment yet, it's revelation. Your life unfolds before you, not as a movie, but as a living tapestry woven by love and choice. Every word, thought, and action radiates either light or shadow. You don't just see what you did, you feel its impact. The joy you brought others shines through you. The pain you caused weighs upon your soul. Saint Faustina described this vision. In a single instant, the soul sees its whole life as God sees it. Every grace received, every opportunity wasted. There's no escape, no excuse, no denial. But strangely, no hatred from God, only sorrow and truth. This is the ultimate act of divine mercy, God allowing the soul to understand its own story in His light. Greater than, and in that light, a figure approaches, wounded, radiant, divine. Part 5. The encounter with Christ appears, not distant, but intimately near. His presence is indescribable, love so intense it feels like fire. Revelation 1:14-16 describes him. His eyes were like flames of fire, his voice like the sound of many waters. The soul instinctively kneels, even without a body. Here, you don't speak, because you no longer need to. He shows his hands, his wounds, his heart. Every scar now glowing with light. You understand at once, these wounds were for you. Every drop of blood shed on the cross was known by name, your name. And for the first time, you understand love itself. Saint Bridget of Sweden wrote, "When a soul sees Christ, it sees itself perfectly, for His eyes are the mirror of truth. He does not accuse, He invites, He does not condemn, He illuminates, but His presence demands honesty. Nothing unholy can hide in that light. And now, before heaven opens, comes the final weighing of truth." Part 6. The particular judgment. This is where time truly ends, you and God alone. The Catechism says, each man receives his eternal retribution in his immortal soul at the very moment of his death. 331,022. There are no witnesses, no jury, just you and the one who knows everything. The soul doesn't argue, it knows. In that knowing, judgment is already decided, not by God's anger, but by truth itself. For the soul in grace, the light draws closer, overwhelming, ecstatic, and the angel smiles. For the soul still stained, mercy leads it through purification. Purgatory, the fire of divine love. For the soul that rejected grace, the light becomes unbearable, and it turns away. St. John of the Cross wrote, "The same sun that melts wax hardens clay. Greater than, and thus as judgment concludes, eternity begins." Part 7. The journey into eternity now. The soul takes its first eternal step. The righteous soul is greeted by angels, the air filled with singing, peace, and radiant joy. Saint Gertrude described this moment. Greater than, the soul is welcomed as a child, returning home, surrounded by those it once prayed for. For others, there is cleansing, purgatory. But purgatory is not despair, it's hope. It's the final bath of fire that burns away the last traces of sin so that only love remains. And for those who chose darkness, the pain is the absence of love, a loneliness never created by God, but by rejection of Him. Even then, God's justice remains perfect, His mercy complete. This is why the Church prays for the dead, because our prayers reach beyond time. St. Ambrose said, We have loved them during life. Let us not abandon them until they enter heaven. One day, your 7 minutes will come. When your last breath fades, your soul will see what truly mattered. Every act of love, every wound of mercy, every prayer whispered in faith. Live now as if heaven is watching, because it is. And remember, death is not the end. It's the beginning of truth. Greater than, if this touched your heart, share it. Subscribe for more Catholic mysteries, and in the comments, tell me, what do you believe happens the moment we die?